You know me, I'm wanting to crank on that thing, heading that field, and he couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to go left or go right. He went left, I went right, and then he went left, and I went a little bit left, and I ran up over his tire, and it shot me off the trail. I ran to the back of this F-150 pickup truck. The tailgate was down. I thought it was going to knock my head back, but luckily my front end, my front bumper, it soaked it up. Shout out Factory 4.3, they're tough, but I'm just super bummed, man. I felt like I had this one today.
I looked at my girlfriend and I said, I really think I'm done. I said, something's not right. I can't move my leg straight out. It's locked in a position. Can't put no weight on it. I said, I really think this is it. I really do. I was able to get my surgery scheduled the Friday before the next race. So the next morning, while everyone was taking off racing, I was starting my road to recovery. And it was a long, long road, and I started immediately because I immediately knew, the Saturday morning watching that race after I got out of surgery and I was watching the online race, that this is what I wanted to do. I was on a podcast this past winter, and the gentleman brought up, he said, well, last year was a complete bust for you, more or less, that I lost out. And I reflected on that because I really don't think I lost out at all. Yeah, I wasn't at the races, but being at home and being, out of the scene and not being at the races and competing, it really gave me a new perspective. And mentally, I grew so much stronger. It made me tougher. The talks to join Magna One, it actually started last September. We already knew in September which route we was going to go, before the season even came to an end. Chris Landers, we worked with him before in 2019. Chris has evolved into a full-bore race team, and he's doing one heck of a job with that. And it was just honestly super easy. We both kind of was thinking of each other, and we hit each other up in a sense. It wasn't more one part or the other. We kind of arrived at the same destination at the same time.
We've known Brycen for 5 years now, and then this year off season, late last year and this off season, we connected back with Brycen. We've always been connected, good family, always been connected and making that happen. And so in the off season, we got that going.
Going into 2022 is the seriousness. Everyone who comes and shows up at race day, it has a Magna One shirt, they're 100% for me. And it's so nice knowing that, people have my back no matter what. Last year at this time at John Penton, my ACL was torn and I had a lateral torn meniscus bucket handle tear. And, I spent about 6 weeks, on crutches, not being able to walk, not really putting no weight on it. And Stu Baylor, fellow Moose rider, he actually put me in connection with the guy who helped him through his total knee replacement, Ben Greenwood. He's from Australia. Off-road performance coach is his Instagram and his business that he runs through, and it changed my life. Ben has brought so many things to the table. He gave me the foundation, the strength, the guidance to, be in here in this gym, and all summer long he has just progressed from baby steps of barely putting weight and barely squatting with my own body weight, at a grandpa's pace, to a full-bore athlete, doing squats and deadlifts, beyond any weight that I ever put up before, in this year. So he built me up from the ground up. I always have such respect for, Stu for putting me in connection with Ben, and Ben for helping me, get my legs back under me, get me sturdy. And it was a good thing that last year when I got hurt, it was a good time to get hurt, I guess you could say. There's so many things that went into that first win back at Big Buck at round number 1. Going into it, it's like, man, I just want to get a podium. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't ride with any of my competitors throughout the winter. It was a heck of a battle, all the way down to the finish. I got Walker with 2 miles to go, and the storybook finish, honestly, looking back, that you can't wish for something better to happen for you, that, you know, your first race back after your season-ending injury, to come back and win your first race. I was absolutely just ecstatic on cloud nine, and you know, just thankful, appreciative, you know, the whole 9 yards. Since round number 1, I've came home, and every week I've gotten faster, stronger, better. Camp Coker around number 5, it was, you know, fever pitch at that point. You know, I won the race previous. We knew going into it that Walker was going to be really, really strong. I got off to an okay start. I got into second place. He had a 30-second gap, and I was like, well, okay, like, there's only one way to go, that's forward. I passed him, he passed me, you know, back and forth so many times throughout the race, but the highlight of it was the one during the pit stop, where I was the very first one coming into the pit. I didn't have to go all the way down to the straight stretch at the end. I was able to, you know, get in first. Dad got me in and out. He was able to make the pass in the pits. That was huge. But then he actually got me back on the motocross track. So I was thinking in my head, like, man, like, I really don't have that many places picked out. And we came to the Pine section where I passed him one previous time earlier in the race, and he took a line to the left up in the woods. I stayed railing the line that I've been hitting all day, and I was able to make the pass with about 2 miles to go, put my head down, sprint, and man, barn burner of a finish, but was able to come out on top that day. I'd say that the biggest thing that surprised me this year is how every race, you know, out of 6 races, Walker, Fowler, and me have found each other and had good battles every race. You know, 6 races, 6 battles, and it's you know, so much work that goes into it from both our parts, and you know, for GNCC Racing, for the fans, for everyone watching, everyone is telling me that how much they love the racing. Yeah, going into John Penn 2022, you know, we're being the 1-year anniversary of me getting hurt. It was so awesome to pull off the win and bring it home that weekend. I had a lot of family and friends come out, and, you know, my mom and my sister, they don't make it out to many races. They were there. That was special to me. So, you know, a lot of family, a lot of friends, and to pull off the win, and I believe I made it 4 wins in a row with that as well. So we had a lot of momentum going our way, and then looking past that race, we just wanted to keep going forward and see what we could do. Going to the Burr Oak, you know, the previous 2 races, we didn't have the best showing. Snowshoe, we had a DNF, and then when we got back to racing after the long summer break at Beckley, you know, we came out with a 3rds. Championship coming down to the wire, my home track, you know, all my family, friends, everything on the line. So, you know, my mindset coming to the Burr Oak was that this is it. This is what's going to make or break me. We started out the day with a great start. We went to the woods second. I was able to make the pass on Hunter and lead, and was able to maintain all day long and just lead the race. And we couldn't ask for a better start and a better finish. When we was coming into that field section, I knew that that was the last possible place I could make a pass, because the woods were super, super tight that day. The track was awesome. You know, the dirt was hero dirt, but the woods really didn't allow for much passing. And he had about an 8-10 second gap of about the 9-mile marker, about a mile before we reached the field. And I was able to close that distance just before we popped out in the field, and I still wasn't on him in it. But the last 2 corners in the field, we made it happen. We made it stick. Outside, inside, momentum, ran up alongside of him, and we just kind of aimed straight for the pole and just held our line. And I think we had about 2 or 3 minutes from there to the finish line. It was just all about just hitting our marks, being smooth, and just keeping that thing pinned. So pumped to bring it home on that one. Mindset coming into the Ironman Raceway, you know, yeah, this is a big weekend for us. You know, we're looking to try to close out a championship, but we're just trying to come into it. That's just another race. You know, it's just another day. We ain't changed any approach. That in the last 2 weeks, we haven't done anything different. It's been the same training, same plan, same everything. So we're just trying to treat it like another day and just focus on getting this job done, get it, finish it.
It is my pleasure to present to you these #1 plates, Brycen Neal.
You know, coming back from the injury last year and what happened, it definitely does make this year's success that we have had up to date more sweet. It does for sure. You know, whenever you're not at the races, you know, anyone, all the dirt bike guys, anyone's ever got hurt before, they can all attest that when you're not here, you get forgotten about really quick when you're not showing up to the races. You're only as good as your last race, the famous saying goes, and to come back and be able to have as great as years what we have, it's definitely sweet for sure. We'll celebrate, we'll have fun, but then most likely it'll be back to the grindstone and get everything situated and ready for 2023. And I'm a worker, you know, my dad was a worker, and if I'm not doing something, I don't feel like I don't feel right. I don't feel like I got my place in the world, or I'm not doing my job. So I'd say one of the lessons of life it taught me, it's a little cliche, you know, but you're not always on top. You're not always on the mountain looking down. You know, a lot of the time you're in the valley, and the world, it's cold. And if you really want something, and you position yourself with people around you who care and want your best intentions, then you can do really good things. And I'm just fortunate enough to have really, really great people around me. You know, sponsors, the whole Moose family, Parts Unlimited, Chris, Magna One, my team, everyone. And with a great group of people around you, you can almost accomplish anything.